Hi, my name is Greg and I'm from Get a Grip, and today we're going to talk about stair lifts and the placement of stair lifts. The first thing we're going to discuss is which side of a wall you would want to put the stair lift on. If you were to take a look at this set of steps here, you'll notice that we have a hand railing on the left side and we have a short railing to the right, and then we have a blank wall up to the pickets. When you would look at this, you would have to say what would be the best side to put it on. Personally, the right side is the best when you're looking from the bottom up, because we've already got a railing on this side for people to use. When we bring the track down on the right side, that will allow everybody to come up on the left and have hand railing to use. But you have to take into consideration the fact of where it's going to end at the bottom of the track and at the top. We're going to discuss the bottom right now. To do this, I'm going to use a piece of wood as a sample for track to show you where it will end when we get to the bottom. What we're going to take a look at next is where the track is going to protrude out and how much room we have to come between where the track is and the wall. There must be enough room to bring a walking device through, like a wheelchair or a walker. You also must make sure that the door opens and there's enough room for the track so that the door can swing open and shut, so there's no obstructions. Now, on this side, this works perfectly. The only problem we may have is when the chair comes to the bottom and parks, when you go to open the door, the chair is going to protrude out and it might hit. So what we can do is, when you're done getting off of the chair, back the chair up a little bit so that the door can open and the door can close. This way it avoids other options like having to slide the track up and having the chair taller so it's more difficult to step out of. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the opposite side and why a stair lift would not go on this side. So if you notice, on this side of the stairs, the opening is narrower, and this goes into the kitchen, which is a high flow traffic area. If the track is on this side, it's going to protrude out approximately 14 inches from the nosing of the step, right around here, which only allows for an opening of 25 inches from the track to the wall. This could be an issue with getting a wide wheelchair through. A walker would fit. The other thing, when the chair is parked, the chair takes up at least another 9 inches, which would make it impossible, if the chair is parked at the bottom, for anybody to get by. One solution will be back the chair up a little bit on the track, giving you more room to go by. If there's still a non-roof room, another option would be cut the track shorter and slide it back. But by doing so, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to elevate the height of the seat when they're exiting off of the chair. And if you back it up too high, then the chair seat is too high for them to step out, and they would have to step out on to the actual step. I don't necessarily recommend this for anybody who has serious mobility issues. So if it looks like it's going to have to sit at the bottom and there is not enough room, would be the option of having a flip track, which would be a piece of track like this that, as a chair leaves and goes upstairs, the track would rise up in the air, getting out of the way so that people could come by. When the chair comes down, the track would drop down and lock into place, and then the chair can stop at the bottom. But if you're going to do this and you need to get by, if you can just back the chair up, would be a much better solution, because the simple fact is a flip track is another component that can unfortunately have issues or need to be serviced. So the simpler we can make it, the more likely you won't have issues with it. Really quick, while we're downstairs, there's one thing I want to mention. if you have to put the unit on the same side as the railing, you always want to try to just move the railing up, but leave it on the wall. Usually they're not the only person going up and down the stairs. And in this case, if you have a husband who rides it and a wife who doesn't, she still needs to have hand railing. And if we remove it from this side, as she comes up and down, she will have no hand railing, because as you see, there is no hand railing on the right hand side. Therefore, you have to consider everybody in the home. And the best thing to do is raise the hand railing up so that the chair can sit close to the wall, and leave it like that. Now we're at the top of the stairs, and there's a few things I'd like to point out to you while we're up here. The first thing is, when we install the track, there's always going to be a piece of track that will protrude at the top. Generally, what this would be 9 inches. Okay, so when you measure from the nosing of the track out 9 inches would be where the track will end. So when you do this, you're going to see that the wall ends before the track, so there is a little bit of an obstruction. If the chair parks up here, that's never a really big deal. Nobody can bump into it. If there's wall, we absolutely have a problem. If we have to shorten it, we can shorten it. What this does is it makes the seat height lower, but if they're 5 foot tall, it's not going to make a difference. If they are 6'4", it will make a difference. Now, if we have to, we can elevate the track to create less of an obstruction, but that generates a taller seat height. So if somebody is 6'4", it would be better to elevate the track height to accommodate them getting on and off of the chair. This is another set of steps going to a basement. A lot of times the layout to the basement is completely different than the layout to the stairs going upstairs. And in this case, this is a situation. As you can see when you look down the stairs, there is a turn to the right, shelves to the left. Obviously we would be trying to put the lift on the side with the shelves. We wouldn't want to block the shelves at the bottom completely, or we would have to tell them the lower shelf would not be accessible. Okay, not while the chair is parked at the bottom. This is the only side it can go on because this turn is to the right. At the top, if you notice, there is very little room from where the top of the step ends to where it will protrude out into the hallway. Now this can be a problem because if you notice the width between this door and the track, there's not a lot of room. So one thing that we do is, like we do on a lot of our tracks, is elevate them up, which helps us get clearance for accessibility in through the hallway. This raises the height of the seat of the chair though. So we have to lower the seat height and make sure somebody can get in and out of the chair. If this doesn't happen because they are too short, what we do is we cut the track a little bit and we stop the chair further back and allow them to step out from the chair being off of the first step. They step out onto the floor, and a lot of times that will work with somebody who is shorter. So cutting the track short, stopping the chair back here, allows them to get out and it doesn't protrude out into the hallway. So that is how we would solve the problem. And if a door is here, you even have to cut it back further so that the door can close. Now, and that makes it even more important that we either elevate the track higher and have them stop back further, and their height is as important as their weight when we're installing a unit.